Welcome, friends, to our meditation time. It is an honor to show up with you. It is an honor to show up alongside you. It truly is just an honor just to show up. Just think about the power of that, this choice that you make to show up for yourself, to show up for your practice, to show up in this present moment. It is a gift both for you and for the greater humanity beyond you. Because what we do to take care of ourselves is actually an effort toward taking care of others. And so as you settle in and you just allow the eyes to close, you begin to find just a rhythm of breath that feels good. Just slow and steady in and out. I would invite you just to think about, what does this showing up mean for you? For some of you, it is a regular and consistent part of your practice. For some of you, it's something that you're striving toward to integrate into your life. And for others, it's this space of curiosity, still trying to figure out exactly what this practice is, what this moment holds for you. But truly, none of those motivations really matter. Because all that matters is that you are here in this present moment. And whether it is your first time or your 100th time, it's this time right here that matters. So as you settle, we're going to support our practice with the yoga teachings from the Sutras that tell us about this concept of Saucha. This niyama, this personal behavior or personal observance that Patanjali talks about in chapter 2. He describes Saucha, when you directly translate it, as this cleanliness. And when you hear that, we automatically begin to think about hygiene or the state of our house or the state of our office or our desk. Because cleanliness has this very tangible picture in our minds. So just see what comes to your mind first. What visual image comes across your thoughts when you hear the word cleanliness? Saucha. And while those practices are all necessary and they're really good behaviors for ourselves to both keep our physical body healthy and clean, keep our space around us organized, what Patanjali was talking about was something just a little less concrete, but maybe just a little more powerful. I love this translation that says that cleanliness of your body, cleanliness of your mind actually creates a distance between your mind, body, and the rest of the world. And it's in that distance that you discover peace. When I hear that, I always go back to that very first sutra way in the beginning when he says, yoga, citta, vritti, nirodha, that yoga calms the fluctuations of our mind. And I think when he tells us about Saucha, and it's translated this way, what he's saying is that when you can begin to separate this unity that you're trying to create between your mind and your body, when you can separate it from the chatter of the world, it's in that distance between where you find that calm, where you find those fluctuations beginning to lessen, where you find that respite, those glimpses of true peace. But I find it interesting that he doesn't say separate from the world and then bring the mind and the body together. And I don't know if it was on purpose or on accident, but he says, first we work on the harmony between our mind and our body. And then, as we have that harmony, that union, that connection, we allow distance to come between that union we've established and the world. Now, we're not drawing away from the world physically. We're not moving away from our people. We're not separating ourselves from the living and the experiences. What we're doing is we're creating distance. Distance from all the chatter. And I've known this concept for a long time. And I've studied this text for a long time. But as I saw it coming up on kind of my plan, my schedule for our time together, I thought there is no better time than now to think about that. The fluctuations in our minds are happening second by second, all day long. They've always experienced chatter. They've always experienced disruptions and distractions. But it seems like the chatter around us right now is so loud. Is so overwhelming. And so I cannot think of a better time, at least in our lifetime, when this concept of Saucha has been more important than it is right now. So we show up to meditation and we cultivate this beautiful connection between our mind and our body, between our physical selves and our mental selves, between our thoughts and our physical sensations. And through this practice, we feel harmony. We feel union. We feel connection. And then meditation ends and we stand up or we move about into the day. And sometimes it is just a matter of minutes before the chatter of the world begins to come in. And without even realizing we've done it, we've separated from our practice. We've created a distance between those moments that we just had in meditation as we're being drawn out into the noise of the world. But what this Yoga Sutra is asking us to do is first we show up here. We cultivate the connection right here. You're doing it in your space. I'm doing it in mine. We're doing it collectively. And then from this sense of unity that we find here, it's not perfect, but we can feel it and see it. We rise up. Meditation has ended. And we intentionally create distance between the chatter of the world and this unity that we have worked to cultivate right here. Instead of allowing the chatter of the world to create distance between us and our practice. I don't know of anyone that would ever want to do something or invest time and then just moments after, just toss it out as if it didn't matter. And while none of us do that knowingly and intentionally, when we allow ourselves to be drawn back toward that chatter, toward that negativity, toward that talk of separation and division and hate, it's like we rolled the window down of the car and we've just tossed our meditation practice out the window. And as I say these things, I don't just say them as a lesson for us to think about. I'm talking to myself as a reminder as much as I am sharing with you. Because it is so easy to get drawn in. But I think that the more that we show up, the more that we honor the showing up, the more that we commit to the cultivation of this unity. I know because I've experienced it actually gets easier to distance yourself from the chatter of the world. Right now, it may feel almost impossible. But I assure you that it is. It doesn't mean that we ignore it. It doesn't mean that we're just passively going through life. It means that we are beacons of peace amidst it. We show up differently, and the world begins to feel it. And so I would challenge us as we get ready to sit in the quiet for just a bit to think about these practices of cleanliness, of Saucha, that you have in your life. We all brush our teeth. We all shower. We put on clean clothes. We tidy up after a meal. These are just rituals that we've just done for so long that we can't imagine not doing them. What if living out the union that we find in meditation could become just as much of a ritual? That we live this out every moment of the day and we can't imagine not. Even amidst all the noise and all the chatter of the world. And so we're going to just sit and just notice what comes up for you. Saucha. What does this idea of cleanliness mean for you personally? And what will it look like when you rise up as meditation ends and you return to the activity of life, of the vibrations on your phone, of the blinking light of your inbox, the conversations at work tomorrow? Saucha. Just continue to breathe. Just notice what comes up. And as you continue just to breathe and notice what's going through your head, what you feel in your spirit, I want to leave us with just an image as we prepare to end our time and return to our schedules and our busyness. I've thought a lot about the Dalai Lama lately. I think about the Dalai Lama a lot, but lately I've really thought about the life that he has lived. And how for 7 decades, the world would say that he's been a victim of political suffering, that he's been a target of hatred, of division, of what we might call just really awful chatter from the world around him. But I've been thinking about every time I've ever seen his face, from the cover of a magazine to an article to a live broadcast to an interview. I have never seen anything on his face other than compassion and light. Even amidst the awful political things that he has experienced. Even amidst the decisions of hatred made by people in leadership positions around him. All I see on his face is compassion and light. which I believe are the impact of his practice of Saucha. Through his deep meditation practice, he's constantly finding union of his mind and his body and his spirit, so that as he moves through the world, it is unshakable. And while I know that none of us is the Dalai Lama, I also know that he is made of the same flesh and bones as you and I. And while I do believe that the chatter around us is so loud and powerful, I haven't been experiencing it for 70 years. And so I look to him for the example of how to truly live out this practice. And if you need inspiration and you need encouragement, just turn on the web page, any page that has his face, and see what you see. I think you'll see the living out of the practice, even amidst the awful chatter. So as your mind begins to doubt or your spirit gets tired, look to the great teachers for inspiration. And I promise you, you will find it every single time. Saucha. Namaste.